When they told me I had 24 hours left to live, I didn't panic. I smiled. Because that's all the time I needed to end every man who betrayed me. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to Mafia Hidden Diary, where every story burns slow, hits hard, and never lets you go. The morning light stabbed through the blinds like it had a personal grudge. My head throbbed, not from alcohol. Victory has its own kind of hangover. Last night I'd toasted with the men who called me a king. This morning I was waiting for my doctor to tell me if the crown still fit. Talk, I said. Dr. Harris shifted uncomfortably, eyes on the floor. Ethan, the results came back. It's bad, I frowned. Bad as in? As in irreversible. The toxin synthetic. It's already in your bloodstream. My heartbeat slowed, not from fear but curiosity. How long? 24 hours, maybe less. I laughed softly, though nothing was funny. You're sure? He nodded, avoiding my eyes. Then don't waste your sympathy. Get out, he hesitated. Ethan, whoever did this, I said, get out. The door clicked behind him and silence swallowed the room. 24 hours. Not enough time to live, but plenty of time to kill. Declan burst in seconds later, his boots heavy against the marble floor. What's going on? Harris looked like he saw a ghost. He did, I said quietly. He froze. Boss, you're scaring me. What happened? I've been poisoned. His jaw clenched. By who? That's the question. I walked to the window, staring at the skyline that used to mean everything to me. Could be Cross, could be Vale, could even be one of ours. Declan swore under his breath. We'll find them, Ethan. No, I turned to face him. We won't, I will. He looked like he wanted to argue, but he knew better. You can't fight death in a day. I don't plan to fight it, I said. I plan to use it. Declan rubbed his temples. You're losing it. Maybe, I said, smirking faintly. But I'll take madness over mercy any day. My phone buzzed. An anonymous number, a voice note. I pressed play. Ronan's voice poured through the speaker. Calm, familiar, poisonous. You were never meant to survive. Ethan. My hand tightened around the phone until my knuckles whitened. Declan stepped closer. That sounded like it was, I said. Ronan Vale, my brother in every way that mattered. The man who stood beside me when no one else would. The man who swore he'd take a bullet for me. Apparently he'd found a better way. Declan's voice was shaking now. Boss, if it's Ronan, we can still... Stop talking. I opened the drawer of my desk, pulling out a black folder marked Confidential. Inside were the contracts for our latest expansion. Property, shares, everything we owned. Every page carried my signature, except one. One was forged, perfectly. Declan stared at it. What the hell? He signed my name, I said coldly. Transferred every asset to his control. He didn't just poison me, he erased me. Declan punched the wall, breathing hard. That bastard. We'll end him now. I shook my head. No, not yet, he glared. You're just going to sit here while your empire burns? I smiled faintly. No, Declan. I'm going to watch it burn, and then I'll bury whoever lit the match. He didn't understand. None of them ever did. Ronan didn't kill me for power. He killed me for history, for every silent war, every backroom deal where I walked away clean and he didn't. I made him a king, but he always hated the crown's weight. Now he wanted to see it crush me. Declan broke the silence. What do you want me to do? Secure the vault, erase every trace of our accounts. If I'm dying, I'm taking the records with me. He nodded reluctantly. And Ronan? Leave him to me. He looked at me for a long moment. You really think you'll survive this? I smirked. I don't need to survive it. I just need to finish it. He left, muttering curses under his breath. The penthouse went still again. I poured myself a drink. Whiskey, neat. My hands didn't shake. Fear had no place here anymore. 24 hours. That's what I had left. 24 hours to make every second count. I pulled out my phone and replayed Ronan's voice note. You were never meant to survive, Ethan. The tone wasn't just taunting. It was final. Like a man who'd already won, but he didn't know me. Not really. He didn't know that I'd built this empire out of nothing. Blood, bone, and brilliance. And if I could build it once, I could destroy it just as easily. I picked up the forged contract again, tracing my fake signature with my thumb. My handwriting had always been sharp, deliberate. Ronan's imitation was flawless. He'd studied me, waited, Planned this for months. I admired the effort. I almost respected it. Almost. My reflection stared back at me from the glass table. Same eyes, same face, but something inside was gone. I'd spent years creating a world where loyalty meant survival. And now the last person I trusted had turned that world into a coffin. I laughed quietly. Well played, Ronan. The whiskey burned down my throat. Outside, the city shimmered in the afternoon sun, unaware that its king had already begun his countdown. My phone buzzed again. Declan's message. Vault secured. Everything wiped. Good. If they wanted to erase me, I'd make sure there was nothing left to steal. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. The poison hadn't started hurting yet, but I knew it would. That was fine. Pain keeps you sharp. The clock on the wall ticked loudly, every second echoing through the room like a drumbeat. Tick-tock, 24 hours. I smiled, whispering to no one in particular, maybe to myself, maybe to the ghosts already waiting. If I only have 24 hours to live, I'll make sure they remember every second of it. The gates of Ivy Hale's mansion opened slow, like they recognized me and weren't sure they should let me in. I stepped out of the car, feeling the weight of 20 years between us pressing against the night. The guards nodded me through, eyes flicking toward their guns. Smart men, working for a smarter woman. She was waiting in the study, draped in silver and shadow, a glass of wine in her hand. Her smile was almost real. Ethan Vale, she said. I thought you were dead. Not yet, I replied, shutting the door behind me. But I hear you might know something about it. She laughed softly, swirling her drink. If I wanted you dead, you wouldn't be standing in my house. That's supposed to make me feel better? It's supposed to remind you I never miss. Her tone hadn't changed. Calm, confident, cutting. I moved closer, the scent of jasmine catching on the air. The same perfume she wore the night I walked away. I need answers, I said. Ronan poisoned me. Her smile faded. Ronan? You sound surprised. I am. He adored you. He adored what I built. There's a difference. She studied me for a long second, eyes narrowing. How bad is it? 24 hours. Jesus, Ethan. Don't, I said sharply. I didn't come for pity. Then what did you come for? Truth. She sighed, setting the glass down. You always thought everyone was lying to you. Everyone was. Her lips twitched, almost a smirk. You still think I'm part of this? I glanced around the room. Clean, perfect, sterile, until I saw it. The small black drawer by her desk, slightly ajar. Something metallic glinted inside. Ivy, I said quietly, walking over. What's this? Don't. I pulled the drawer open before she could stop me. A small glass vial sat inside, half full with a thick golden liquid. The same color as the toxin Harris had shown me. I held it up. Insurance? Her jaw clenched. Yes. Looks like betrayal. Don't twist it, Ethan. Then explain. She stepped forward, eyes burning. Ronan came to me a month ago. Said you were losing control, that the Empire was rotting. He wanted me to invest in his cleanup. I said no. Funny, I said, turning the vial in my hand. You kept the poison anyway. I didn't keep it to use it. I kept it to know what I was up against. You expect me to believe that? I expect you to remember who I am. For a second I did. I remembered the woman who'd stood beside me when I was nothing. Who'd walked away because she refused to share my crown. But that woman was gone. People change. I said. Not all of us. She whispered. The silence stretched between us until my phone buzzed in my pocket. Maya's name flashed on the screen. I turned slightly, keeping Ivy in my sight. Talk, I said. Maya's voice was quick, breathless. Ethan, I traced the toxin purchase. It wasn't Ronan. Then who? Gabriel Cross, the name landed heavy. The investor? Yeah, he used an offshore shell company, but the chemical trail leads back to him. He's been funding half your board for months. My hand tightened around the phone. You're sure? 100%. And Ethan, he's not working alone. I'll call you back. I hung up and stared at Ivy. Cross. She frowned. Gabriel? That snake. He couldn't pull this off. Not alone, I said. But he didn't have to. He just had to open the door. And you think Ronan walked through it? I think he built it. I slipped the vial into my pocket. Thanks for the hospitality. She stepped forward. Ethan, don't do this. You're dying. Let me help you. I turned at the door. If I believed that, I'd already be dead. The night air was cold when I stepped outside. My driver, Leon, opened the car door, eyes wary. Everything all right, boss? Define all right. He didn't answer. I slid into the back seat, closing my eyes for a moment as the engine purred to life. The mansion lights faded in the rearview mirror. For a second, I let myself breathe. Then the world exploded. The blast tore through the silence, fire, glass, chaos. The shockwave slammed into the car, flipping it sideways. My head hit the door hard enough to blur the stars. When the ringing in my ears stopped, I was on the ground, coughing smoke. The car was gone, just twisted metal and fire. Leon didn't make a sound. My vision swam as I crawled away, clutching my side. Someone had triggered it remotely. Too clean, too precise. Not Ivy, not Cross. Someone inside my network. I pulled my phone from my pocket, the screen cracked but still glowing. Messages from Maya were flashing in red. Ethan, you're compromised. Someone's inside your comms. Get out. Now. The fire painted the road in golden red. My pulse slowed, steadied. Fear didn't help anymore. Only clarity did. I looked back toward the flames, toward everything that used to be mine. My empire, my people, my trust, all burning in front of me. I smiled bitterly, whispering through the smoke. They wanted me buried by dawn, but I've always been better in the dark. The ocean outside the resort was calm, too calm for what I came here to do. The same cliffs where Ronan and I built everything now waited for me to burn it down. I stepped into the lobby, sunglasses hiding the storm in my eyes. The woman at the desk smiled like she didn't know this was a graveyard. Reservation, sir? Ronan Vale, I said. He's expecting me. She hesitated, then nodded. Top floor. Private suite, of course. He always loved being above everyone else. When I reached the elevator, I caught my reflection in the mirrored wall. My face looked calm, a lie I'd perfected over years. 20 hours left to live. 20 hours to make every truth hurt. The doors opened. He was there, standing by the window, glass of whiskey in hand. No guards. Just him, and that smug, bitter grin. Ethan, he said softly. Didn't think you'd make it. Poison slows me down, I said. Doesn't stop me, he chuckled, gesturing toward a chair. Drink? I'm dying, not stupid. He shrugged. Suit yourself. The silence stretched. The air smelled of salt leather and history. Why? I asked finally. You could have taken the money, the title, hell, the whole city. But you had to make it personal. He turned slowly, eyes sharp. Because it was personal. Then talk. He slammed the glass down, shards scattering. You ruined my family, Ethan. You think I forgot? My jaw tightened. Your father was a traitor. He sold our shipment to the feds. He did it because you threatened him, Ronan shouted. You said you'd burn his business to the ground if he didn't fund your first deal. He made his choice. He made yours. Ronan's voice cracked. And my mother paid for it when he couldn't handle the guilt. You remember her funeral? You stood there like a savior while I buried everything I had left. I stared at him, the weight of his words cutting deeper than I wanted. I didn't know she— Don't lie to me. I'm not. He laughed bitterly. You built me, Ethan. You made me your brother, your soldier, your shadow. And then you wondered why I wanted out. I gave you everything. You gave me chains, he hissed. And now I've cut them. I stepped closer, voice low. You could have come to me. I did, he said. You weren't listening. The door behind us clicked open. Ivy walked in, heels echoing like a verdict. Don't shoot, she said softly, raising her hands. I'm not here to play sides. Ronan glared. You already did. She ignored him, eyes locking on me. I told you he came to me, Ethan. I helped once, but I didn't know it would go this far. You helped him poison me. No, she snapped. I helped him move funds. I didn't know about the toxin until it was too late. Ronan scoffed. She's lying, am I? Ivy turned on him. You think I'd be here if I wasn't trying to fix it? Fix it? I said quietly. There's no fixing this. I've got less than a day, Ivy. You're both already ghosts. Ronan's laugh was low and broken. You really think you can clean your soul before you die? You think revenge will save you? No, I said. But it'll make dying easier. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Maya. I answered without taking my eyes off them. Maya, talk. Her voice was shaking. Ethan, you need to leave now. What's wrong? I made a mistake. Define mistake. I've been tracking your movements. Gabriel, he has my brother. I didn't have a choice. I froze. You sent him my coordinates? I swear I didn't know he'd use them. He said if I stopped, my brother would die. Where is he now? I don't know. But he's coming for you. The call cut off. I looked at Ronan, then Ivy. Seems betrayal's contagious. Ronan frowned. What was that? Gabriel's been watching all of us. Maya's feeding him intel. Ronan's expression shifted. Anger, confusion, then fear. He's playing us? He's been playing all of us, I said. And when the board collapses, he'll take everything, Ivy whispered. Ethan, what are you going to do? What I should have done years ago. Which is? Ronan asked. Burn the whole thing down, he laughed, shaking his head. You haven't changed. No, I said. I just stopped pretending to be the hero. The tension was suffocating. 3 people bound by greed, guilt, and ghosts. I stepped closer to him. Tell me something, Ronan. When you forged my signature, did you hesitate? He met my eyes. No. Good, I said softly. Because I didn't either when I made you. He flinched like the words cut him deeper than any blade. Ivy spoke again, voice trembling. Stop this. You'll both die. Maybe, I said. But only one of us deserves to. Ronan's hand twitched, reaching for the gun at his side. I moved faster, kicking it away, pressing him against the glass wall overlooking the sea. Look at what we built, I said. All of it. Blood, lies, and loyalty. You call that family? He spat blood, eyes burning. You call it empire. Same thing. Then we're both damned. The words hung there, heavy and true. I let him go. He stumbled back, breathing hard. You won't make it till sunrise. I don't need to, I said. I just need to make sure you don't either. He didn't answer. Just laughed, quiet, broken, almost human. As I turned to leave, Ivy called out softly, Ethan, if you keep going like this, there won't be anything left of you. I glanced over my shoulder. There already isn't. The elevator doors closed between us. My reflection stared back, the same calm lie I'd worn all night. But my pulse was fire, my blood poison, my heartstone. Everyone I'd trusted had drawn a knife in the dark. Every deal, every promise, every memory, twisted until it bled. And now I finally saw it for what it was, not betrayal, not tragedy, just truth. I stepped out into the night, the sound of the ocean fading behind me. My watch beeped, another hour gone. I smiled, whispering to no one. Everyone I trusted gave me a reason to die. So I'll give them all a reason to fear my last breath. The smell of gasoline and gunpowder hung in the air as Declan and I pulled up to the warehouse. The night was too still. No guards, no movement. Just the hum of the wind slicing through steel. Declan loaded his pistol and glanced at me. You sure about this, mate? You're running out of hours. I'm not here to live, I said. I'm here to end it. He sighed, muttering, You always were a stubborn bastard. We kicked open the side door, boots echoing through the dark. The place was massive, crates stacked like tombstones, the air thick with chemical stench. I moved ahead, scanning the aisles until a single light flickered in the distance. Declan whispered, That's too convenient. Exactly, I said, pulling my gun. Let's see what's waiting. The light led us to a glass room. Inside were walls covered with medical charts, scans, test results, DNA codes, all with my name printed on them. Declan swore. What the hell is this? I stepped closer, reading the files. Cardiac toxin exposure, dosage tolerance test, neural mapping. My pulse spiked. He's been studying me. For how long? Years. Declan ran a hand through his hair. Jesus, Ethan, this isn't just business. This is obsession. He wanted control, I said quietly. And now he's got it. Declan turned to me, desperate. Then walk away. Take what's left of your life and disappear. I shook my head. He's already taken my life. I'm just taking back the ending. Before he could argue, my phone buzzed. Ivy, I answered. Where are you? Her voice was sharp, panicked. Ethan, listen. I found her, Gabriel's daughter, Elena. She knows where the antidote is. My grip tightened. Where? Old Marina, East Docks. But, she hesitated, breath trembling. Ethan, he knows I'm here. Static crackled. A man's voice cut through the line. Gabriel. Smooth, calm, poisonous. Ethan, he said. Always 2 steps too late. I see you found my little archive. Impressive work, isn't it? Where's Ivy? I growled. She's alive. For now. I'm willing to trade. I don't do trades with devils. He chuckled softly. You'll make an exception. Her life for yours. 1 hour. East docks. The line went dead. Declan cursed. We both know it's a trap. I don't care, I said, already walking toward the exit. Declan caught my arm. Ethan, listen to me. She made her choices. Don't throw what's left of your life away. I met his eyes. She's the only reason I still remember who I was. He didn't argue again. Just followed. The docks were quiet, the water reflecting the blood-orange sky of a dying night. A single boat floated near the pier. I saw her, Ivy, tied to a post, bruised but defiant. Gabriel stood beside her, coat swaying in the wind like a curtain before the final act. Touch her and I'll end you, I shouted. He smiled. You already did, Ethan. Every move you made, every betrayal you chased, I planned it. You were my best experiment. I stepped closer. You're insane, he tilted his head. Perhaps, but genius often looks like madness to the dying. Ivy shouted, Ethan, don't listen to him. He held a gun to her temple. Your time is up. Choose. I froze. My hand hovered near my holster, but my chest burned, the poison eating through my veins like wildfire. Let her go, I said. I'll give you what you want. What I want, Gabriel said, is to watch you lose everything you love. He handed her the gun. Go on, Ivy. Show him what loyalty costs. Her hands shook. Don't make me do this, he smiled. Then I'll do it for you. I started forward, but Ivy screamed, Stop! She turned the gun, not at him, but at herself. Don't. I yelled. She looked at me, eyes soft through the tears. You still have a soul, Ethan. Don't become like him. The shot rang out. The sound tore the night apart. Gabriel stumbled back in shock as Ivy fell to her knees, blood spreading beneath her. The guards hesitated 1 second too long. I fired, hitting the fuel tank beside the boat. The explosion lit the sky, throwing Gabriel into the water. Declan dragged me back, shouting over the flames, We have to go! But I couldn't move. I was staring at her, at the woman who'd just saved me when I didn't deserve it. Her voice still echoed in my head, fragile but fierce. Don't become like him. I knelt beside her as the fire spread, heat biting my skin. You stupid, beautiful fool, I whispered. You saved the wrong man. Her eyes fluttered once, then closed. Declan grabbed my shoulder. Ethan, we need to move. I stood numb. Go, I'll cover you. He hesitated. You'll die here. I already have. The flames roared, reflecting off the water like the world itself was burning. I watched as the last piece of my heart went still in the glow. When the smoke cleared, I walked toward the pier, leaving everything. Her body, the fire, my past, behind me. The night swallowed the rest. She gave her life for my soul. Now I have nothing left to lose. The ocean whispered against the cliffs as I walked toward the glass villa. The same place it all began, Gabriel's throne of reflections and lies. The sun hadn't risen yet, but the sky burned with that faint, dying blue before dawn. I could taste the salt, the poison, and the end. He was waiting inside, sitting at a long table overlooking the water. 2 glasses of wine between us. Always the dramatist, Ethan, he said, smiling faintly. You look terrible, I laughed softly. You should see how I feel, he gestured to the seat across from him. Then sit. Let's finish this like gentlemen. I sat, eyes on him. You knew I'd come, of course. You always follow through. That's what I've always admired about you. He poured the wine. A toast, then, to the inevitable. I didn't lift my glass. You poisoned me, he nodded, unashamed. Yes, but not to kill you. Death is easy. I wanted you to dismantle your empire with your own hands, to see the rot beneath it, to realize you were never any different from me. I leaned back. So this was a lesson? He smiled. An evolution. You burned your kingdom, betrayed your allies, destroyed your name, all because I nudged you toward the truth. You talk like a prophet, I said. But all I see is a man terrified of his own shadow. Really? He asked, tilting his head. You and I are mirrors, Ethan. You kill for loyalty, I kill for control. Tell me, which sin weighs heavier? I stared at him, the wine glass gleaming between us. You still don't get it. You built everything on fear. I burned mine to the ground. He chuckled. And what did that buy you? Redemption? No, I said. Freedom. He leaned forward, eyes sharp. You think you've won something here? You're dying. You'll be forgotten. That's where you're wrong. I reached into my coat and slid a phone across the table. I sent everything, the bank accounts, the files, your offshore holdings, all of it to the authorities. Every cent of your fortune is already in the hands of the charities your men destroyed. His smirk faded. You're bluffing, am I? I pressed play. His voice echoed from the phone. Confessions, deals, murders, all recorded from his own meetings. You built your empire on secrets. I just gave them all away. He went still. The first crack appeared in his composure. I smiled faintly. You said death is easy. Let's see if living without power feels harder. His jaw clenched. You think I'll beg? No, I think you'll do what you always do. Try to control the ending. He looked at the wine. So poetic. Poison for two. Fitting, isn't it? I said. You made me drink once. Now it's your turn to decide. He lifted his glass slowly, his hand steady but eyes trembling. You know, I almost respected you. I'll take almost. He smirked. To evolution. I raised mine. Two endings. We drank, for a moment's silence. Then his hand shook. The glass slipped, shattering against the table. He looked at me, realization flooding his face. You switched the glasses. I set my own down. I learned from the best. He gasped, falling back in his chair, choking. You think this changes anything? It already did. He tried to speak again, but the words died before they left his mouth. I watched his body go still, the waves beyond us crashing against the rocks like applause for a tragedy well played. The poison in my veins pulsed harder. I felt my pulse fading, my breath thinning. I stood barely and walked to the balcony. The horizon glowed, a faint orange bleeding into blue. The first light of morning touched the water, and for once I didn't feel hate. Just quiet, my knees gave out. I collapsed under the cold marble, the world blurring. Declan's voice echoed from the distance, shouting my name. His footsteps drew closer. He knelt beside me, eyes wide. Ethan, stay with me, damn it! I managed a faint smile, slipping a folded note into his hand. Let them build something honest, I whispered, from our ashes. He shook his head. Don't you die on me, but I already was. The ocean roared louder, washing the villa in gold. They gave me 24 hours to live. I breathed, as the light swallowed everything. I used every second to take my world back.